Could it actually be possible that two incredibly self-absorbed narcissists could enter into a relationship and they're actually happy? I thought that this would be an interesting topic to dive into, this whole dynamic about what can really happen when a narcissist dates another narcissist. We know that narcs are just flat out pigs for power, and this helps them feel in control of everything, all seeing, all knowing, all powerful. So, what is one of the first things that a narcissist does when they meet somebody? They run some tests, throw out some love bombing, and see if they can suck the person in. They're also putting their best foot forward, trying to seem agreeable, cool, mellow, and easygoing, nice and kind. You know the drill. What can actually happen is two narcissistic people can do this and actually fool each other. Narcissists can appear to be very empathetic, communicative. They will talk about how awful all of the exes were, play the victim. So, what each narcissist actually thinks they're getting is a kind, hurt, wounded little empath. And again, they're actually tricking each other. Also, when you factor in getting love bombed, well, a narcissist is going to eat up as much of that as possible. And a very toxic swirl can spin up as these two narcissists are full blown love bombing each other. And each narcissist, doing what they do, trying as hard as they can in the beginning, will also try while soaking in all of the amazing euphoria that is love bombing while they are both lying and hiding things from each other. There is that old saying, that we all have heard before, opposites attract. Well, I do want to share, I found an article once, I can't really remember when, but it does stick with me. It talked about a different theory where, in short, it's just not always true that opposites attract. There are people who are actually attracted to those who are very similar to them and have very similar traits. And I think this is true with some narcissists. Now, not all of them, of course, but I think there are definitely cases where two narcs dating can make a lot of sense. Not everyone is looking for their polar opposite. Frankly, not everybody is attracted to the opposite. Now, me personally, I'm a homebody. I am extremely introverted, and personally, I don't want an active, traveling, busybody social butterfly. I'm not knocking those things. I just personally know that a relationship with someone like that would be a disaster, honestly, for both people. Nobody would want to put up with my staying in the house all the time, having ass anyways. So also consider that neither narcissist might even realize what the problem is. We know how delusional these people are. We know how much denial there is. So they could be, one, narcissistic, and two, in a narcissistic relationship, and honestly, not really have much of an idea about what's going on. I mean, let's face it, there are issues in every relationship, but two people having narcissism, think about the huge lack of self-awareness there. Remember, each narcissist is the victim, of course, right? So they would blatantly accuse each other of their own narcissism. And the funny/intriguing thing is they would both be right in their accusations. On top of that, playing the victim and everything else that these two would do in a relationship together, we do have to face the facts. There are some narcissistic qualities that are gross, maybe, but in a way, they are alluring. And I'll just use myself as the best example that I personally have. As a survivor, I found the confidence, the charisma, the charm, the romance, the love bombing, so on and so forth, even though those things can be very toxic and very toxic when used by narcissistic people, I found those things to be very attractive. Well, narcissists find some of those things attractive too. A narcissist can be with a narcissist and very in love with the very same toxic, gross qualities that we were in love with about these people and be able to make a connection that way. It's entirely possible that for someone narcissistic, they'll see the same things that we saw in a person who's a huge narc and be attracted. They're really not all that different from us. If you're ready for counseling or coaching, you can talk with me one-on-one from the comfort of your own home right over the phone. You can click the link on the screen now to take you to my website where you can learn all about how it works and book some time to chat with me. You could also send a text or an email if you would like information that way. Take a friendly, less stuffy, and more casual approach to healing and coaching. It works best to learn from another survivor. That's what worked for me. Reach out today. Now, it's true that two narcissists can absolutely get together, fall for each other, get spun up in the love bombing. Obviously, as we know, after that, of course, things don't work well. Because what else is happening along with love bombing, lies, deceit, and deception? Well, there's no empathy and a ton of manipulation, drama, and chaos. So, on the flip side, again, we have to keep doing this and playing the devil's advocate. Just because there's drama, mayhem, chaos, and disorder, it does not mean that the relationship will end. It just doesn't go well some of the time. When two narcs end up together, this forms like a hella strange dynamic where two people are, for lack of a better term, and maybe there is one, but it's like a mutual using of each other, feeding their own egos off of the other person. And I think in some cases for narcissists, they do this with other narcs because there's comfort and familiarity in the abuse, in the disorder. I could kind of see two people with kind of the same wonky brain disorder hanging out together. There are still a slew of issues. Even if two narcissists hook up, get married, whatever, there's going to be intimacy issues. Let's face it, narcs lack caring, understanding, depth, and they see intimacy as a weakness. So, good luck trying to have a meaningful, fulfilling relationship. Any two people can have a relationship, but is there substance? Is there anything to it? And with a narcissist, the answer is always going to be no. They're going to cheat on each other. Narcissists need more than one person giving them attention. So there's going to be massive amounts of competition, arguing, rivalry, just fighting with each other. Everything is going to have this really icky tone of power struggles and narcissistic struggle, that just overall power, control, and dominance search that never ends. And they will continue to battle each other to have that dominance, power, and control. Both narcissists are also, of course, frequently going to accuse each other of being a toxic narcissist and hiding and lying and cheating. And they will be accused while they are accusing. Seriously, imagine the amount of manipulation happening with two narcs in a relationship. And as clingy as these people are, believe it or not, a narcissist is not going to fulfill a narc who is a black hole and needs endless attention. They are not going to give that to each other. Sure, in the love bombing, that's all going to be great. They're going to be feeding each other. But just like with us, it doesn't work for very long. I'll be honest, these couples have just as much of a shot at working, quote unquote, as anybody else's relationship. And I hate to say it like that, but we have to say what's true. Toxic people stay in toxic relationships. Toxic people will only ever have toxic relationships. Some survivors leave the narc, sometimes a narc leaves a narc, sometimes survivors stay. Really, who stays and who goes is really inconsequential. Sometimes things work for two people and sometimes they don't. And as outsiders, maybe sometimes we can't really see why it works. And maybe something shouldn't work, but it's two people making their own decisions. And really, it doesn't matter who a narcissist picks. Like I said earlier, it's not going to be happy. It's not going to be healthy. It's not going to be fulfilling and emotional and deep. Both people are not going to be loved or made to feel safe, appreciated, secure, and have a well-adjusted communicative partner. I don't care if a narc picks unfortunately, a survivor or another narc. It doesn't go well. It can go for 20 weeks or it can go on for 20 years. It's not healthy, it's not good, and it's not a success. I truly feel like a narc on narc thing doesn't last for very long most of the time. The folks who truly have the disorder they're too thirsty for the power and the control. They are, in fact, seeking a highly naive, malleable, moldable, controllable empath. And the narcissist doesn't want another shitty, selfish douchebag like they are. They want kind, caring, forgiving empathy, and that is usually the top prize. So tell me how you feel about two narcs dating. Do you think they work out? Should they work out? What's happening? Share everything with me down in the comments below. If you made it this far, I thank you for listening. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my YouTube channel if you're not already. It's free. It helps me reach across the globe to as many survivors as possible. That has been my goal for over 5 years now. You can become a channel member for as little as $1 a month to help me continue to meet these goals and help allow me to keep doing this full time. Thank you so much for the consideration and your generosity. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.